So can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today I shall first discuss about the space charge region or transition region or depletion region. You see that I have already explained how in a PN junction semiconductor diode depletion region is formed. So here in the figure, it is shown within this vertical dotted line. So x equal to 0, we have considered an one dimensional semiconductor where doping concentration varies with x. So at x equal to 0, it indicates the metallurgical junction, which is it is the boundary between p and n type semiconductors. So on the left hand side, you see these negative ions. That means these are all acceptor ions. These are all immobile acceptor ions. And this depletion region extends up to x equal to minus xp0 in the on the p side, whereas the depletion region extends up to x equal to xn0 on the n side. And plus means all are donor ions, all are donor ions. So so the depletion region actually exists from x equal to minus xp0 to x equal to xn0. It is denoted, this width is denoted by w. And beyond w, it is the neutral region. On the right hand side, it is the neutral n region, whereas on the left hand side, it is the neutral p region. So now, what are the features of this depletion region? Why is it called depletion region? Because this region is depleted of any free charge carriers. That is why it is called depletion region. Free charge means electrons and holes. They can move from one place to another, but these ionized acceptors or donors, they cannot move. They are immobile ions. So here you see this, there is a variation in potential within the depletion region. Therefore, electric field exists here. So no free charge carrier can reside within this depletion region due to the presence of an electric field. The electric field actually serves to sweep out carriers which have wandered into the depletion region W. So to a good approximation, we can say that the space charge or depletion region consists of uncompensated donor and acceptor ions. And in this region, free charge carriers are always in transit. They are in motion, so they can never stay within this depletion region. That is why you can say that this region is free from any free charge carriers. So it consists of ionized acceptors or donors, depending on the side with reference to this metallurgical this junction. So on the right hand side, you will find only ionized donors, and on the left hand side, you will find ionized acceptors. So now, if we neglect free charge carriers within the space charge region, the charge density on the n side, that is denoted by Q plus. So what is the volume? So if you consider the interface between P and N region, this interfacial cross-sectional area is A, and this depletion region extends on the right hand side up to xn0. Therefore, volume becomes A into xn0, and Nd is the donor concentration. Therefore, total donor atoms contained within this depletion region, that is equal to A xn0 into Nd. Q is the electronic charge. That is why the total charge within the depletion region on the n side, that is denoted by q plus, can be given by small q a xn0 into nd. So is it clear to all of you? This Indrajit?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. So if we consider the charge on the in the depletion region on the p side, that can be similarly computed using this relationship q minus, that is equal to minus q a x p0 into na. So due to the neutrality, charge neutrality condition, the mod of this q minus must be equal to this q plus. So so if we actually equate these two charges, the actually magnitude of these two charges will be the same. Therefore, you can say that x n0 into w, x n0 into nd, that is equal to xp0 into na. So now I can tell you regarding this depletion approximation. The assumption of carrier depletion within W means within the depletion region, and neutrality outside W is known as depletion approximation. And it is justified because you know that due to the presence of an electric field within the depletion region, free charge carriers cannot reside within this. Actually, the electric field serves to sweep out all the carriers which have wandered within the depletion region. So it is a very good approximation, and this approximation assumption and this assumption of carrier depletion within W and neutrality outside W is known as depletion approximation. Now you can see the electric field profile within the depletion region. So here you see at the metallurgical junction, electric field attains its highest value, that is given by E0. And as you go beyond this metallurgical junction, electric field drops down linearly to zero until it reaches the edge of the depletion region. So this variation in electric field with distance is linear in nature. It assumes or attains its maximum value at the uh, metallurgical junction, and it drops down linearly as we go away from the depletion region, and reduces to zero at the edge of the depletion region. And it is clear in this bottom figure presented at the bottom. So E0 is the maximum value, and 0 electric field equals 0 at x equal to xn0 and x equal to minus xp0 on the p side. So can anyone say why the electric field attains its maximum value at the metallurgical junction? This to him. Can you explain why electric field attains its maximum value at the metallurgical junction? This Argodip.
Yes, sir.
So can you explain?
Sir, sir, at the center, all the charges uh, means from the in that. Sir, I need some time to think.
There are two Argodips. Argodip Pal. Anyone Anyone else? Sumit?
স্যার চার্জটা স্টেপ ইনক্রিজ হচ্ছে তো ওখানে ম্যাক্সিমাম, ওই জন্য চার্জ ম্যাক্সিমাম।
না, চার্জ ম্যাক্সিমামের কথা বলিনি, আমি বলেছি ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ডের ভ্যালু ম্যাক্সিমাম কেন হচ্ছে। এই দেখো ফিগারটা দেখো।
ডিভিডিএক্স ওখানে স্টেপ ইনক্রিজ হচ্ছে ভোল্টেজে।
হ্যাঁ শোনো, ফিজিক্যালি এটা এক্সপ্লেন করার চেষ্টা করে যে ফার্স্ট ইউ সি দ্য টপ ফিগার অন দ্য টপ। এখানে দেখো দিস কন্টিনিউয়াস ভার্টিক্যাল লাইন, it represents the metallurgical junction, isn't it? So if we consider the charges on both sides of the metallurgical junction, and if you consider the electric field lines, all the electric field lines pass through this metallurgical junction, and that is the reason why electric field assumes its highest value at the metallurgical junction. সমস্ত যে ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ড লাইন সেটা ইট ইমানেটস ফ্রম দ্য পজিটিভ চার্জ অ্যান্ড অ্যাকচুয়ালি ইট টার্মিনেটস অন দ্য নেগেটিভ চার্জ। এই সব ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ড লাইন কোথা দিয়ে যাচ্ছে? ওই মেটালার্জিক্যাল জাংশন ক্রস করে যাচ্ছে। সেই কারণেই হচ্ছে ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ড ম্যাক্সিমাম ভ্যালু হচ্ছে অ্যাট দ্য মেটালার্জিক্যাল জাংশন। দিস ইজ দ্য রিজন। ইজ ইট ক্লিয়ার?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Okay. So now we want to calculate the electrostatic potential profile within the depletion region, within the PN junction, semiconductor junction. So before that, we'll make some assumptions. First assumption is abrupt junction. I already explained you that impurity concentration varies abruptly at the junction. I have shown the figure in my previous class. Then we'll consider only one type of impurity in each side. Means p-type semiconductor means we assume that all impurities are of p-type. On the n side, similarly, all the impurities are donors, means n-type. Therefore, we can assume this assumption. Next, complete ionization of impurities. There is no partial ionization of impurities. If say the doping concentration is 10 to the power 16 per cc, so we assume that all the impurities will be ionized at room temperature. Okay. Complete ionization, 100% ionization. Therefore, Na minus must be equal to Na, means the acceptor ion concentration must be equal to acceptor concentration. And the similar thing holds good for donors also. And it is a 1D problem, means the doping concentration, material parameters, variation of material parameters, everything actually occurs in one dimension. It is a function of x only, not y and z, to make the problem simple. Now, how can you find the potential profile within the PN junction diode? You must solve this second order Poisson's equation. So it is actually the double derivative of potential with respect to distance, and that is equal to minus rho by epsilon. Rho is the charge density. It is also a function of x, and epsilon is the permittivity of the material. Here say silicon. So what does it mean? Means d2v dx square. As you know that electric field, it is the gradient, negative gradient of potential. That means E is minus dv dx. So if you take another derivative, that means the variation of electric field. It on the left hand side, it indicates physically it is the variation of electric field, and it is related to the charge density, that is minus rho x by epsilon. Is it clear? And it is called the famous Poisson's equation. Poisson's equation essentially relates the variation of electric field with the charge density. So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have to solve this one-dimensional Poisson's equation subject to suitable boundary conditions to find the potential profile within the PN junction and that. So we have already assumed this depletion approximation, and we assume also that the transition region consists of uncompensated donors and acceptor ions. So we are not assuming any free charge carrier within the transition region or depletion region. So therefore, how can you write this Poisson's equation? We have separated out this equation for two sides, one for n side and another for p side. So d2v dx square, that is equal to minus q nd divided by epsilon. This equation holds good when x varies from 0 to x at 0. You see this last figure here. So if we consider the region bounded by x equal to 0 and x equal to xn 0, what do you find? You find only only donor ions. And we have assumed that all donors are ionized. Therefore, donor ion concentration must be equal to donor concentration. That means Nd plus is equal to Nd. And after this depletion region is over, that means beyond x is equal to xn0, this is the neutral region, so we are not considering this equation. So within this depletion region, this equation, Poisson's equation becomes d2v dx square equal to minus q nd by epsilon when x varies from 0 to xn0 on the n side. Similarly, it can be written on the p side, q na divided by epsilon when x varies from minus xp0 to 0 on the p side. You see here the top figure. So here you see when x is equal to minus xp0 and x equal to 0, within this region you will find only ionized acceptors. It is negatively charged ions, that is why negative means positive. So that is why it is q na by epsilon. So, is it clear formulation of this Poisson's equation within the depletion region on both sides of the metallurgical junction?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you have to integrate this equation 7a with respect to x. So q, epsilon, nd all are constants. So it will be simply x plus integration constant c1. Now you have to employ the boundary condition. What is the boundary condition? You know that the electric field vanishes at the edge of the depletion region. That means dv dx equal to, it is the electric field, minus dv dx is the electric field. So dv dx equal to 0 at x equal to x at 0. So then you can find this integration constant c1 to be q nd xn0 by epsilon. Just you put this equation in 7a, you put the value of the integration constant, you will arrive at this equation number 8a. That means dv dx equal to minus q nd epsilon into x minus xn0. Then it is this equation holds good when x varies from 0 to xn0. So similarly, you can find the variation of potential with respect to x on the depletion region of the p side, and you can write it in equation 8b. So if you further integrate it with the integrate them with the reference to x again, what you will find? You will find the potential function, and on the above, that means equation 8a and 8b, both equations actually represent the electric field. So here most important thing is that you know that minus dv dx is the electric field. It is a linear function of x because it is in the form of y equal to mx plus c. So that is why I told you that electric field attains its maximum value where if we put x equal to 0, then you see electric field attains its maximum value, and that is at the metallurgical junction. X equal to 0 means it represents the metallurgical junction. And it drops down linearly to 0 when it reaches the edge of the depletion region, either x equal to xn0 or x equal to minus xp0. So I think it is clear. The variation of electric field is linear in nature and it varies linearly with x. But it is not same for the potential variation. You see that V is equal to minus Q Nd by twice epsilon x into x minus twice N0 plus C2. So you can assume that V, this electrostatic potential, is 0 at the metallurgical junction because you know that potential can be measured from an arbitrary reference. So for convenience, we can assume that at the metallurgical junction, the potential is 0. So with this assumption, we can reduce C2 to 0. Therefore, V is equal to minus Q Nd divided by twice epsilon into x minus x into x minus twice xn0. You will get one equation on the right hand side of the metallurgical junction, and similarly on the left hand side of the metallurgical junction you will find another form of equation. And here you see that variation of electric potential, electrostatic potential with distance, it is quadratic in nature. That means parabolic variation. So this is the difference. The variation of potential with distance is parabolic in nature or quadratic, whereas electric field variation with distance is linear. This is a very important point, you must note it. So if we consider that the field is continuous at x equal to 0, that means here in equation 8a and 8b, you put dv dx equal to 0, and the field is continuous. You put this x equal to 0 and equate these two fields, you can get this relationship that is equal to q nd into xn0, that is equal to q na into xp0. So it means that if you increase the doping concentration, the depletion, the corresponding depletion width will be smaller. So it is inverse in nature. So for a high doped region, the depletion width will be lower, and the reverse is true for also true. So for a lightly doped region, the depletion region will extend much. For a heavily doped region, depletion width will be very, very small. So if we consider a P plus N junction, P plus means the junction which is doped heavily. Heavily means say 10 to the power 19 per cc. That means if the doping concentration is comparable to the density of states function, that is called the heavily doped region. Means for p-type we have to compare with reference to NV, and for n-type doping we have to consider with reference to NC. So if the doping concentration is comparable to NC in case of n-type semiconductor, and for p-type semiconductor NV, we can call it that it is a heavily doped semiconductor. And in this case, the width of the depletion region will be very, very small. But if we consider a lightly doped semiconductor, for example, doping concentration is only 10 to the power 15 per cc, the depletion region will be extended much more in that semiconductor. So due to this relationship given in equation 10, here you see Nd into Xn0, that is Na into Xp0. The product is same. So if one term becomes very high, the other term will be less. So this is the reason why highly doped region exhibits a lower value of depletion region or vice versa. Now we come to total built-in or contact potential V0. It can be given by V0 equal to V means electrostatic potential at Xn0 minus V at X equal to minus Xp0. You know that the potential is higher on the N side with reference to that on the P side. And if you do a simple mathematical calculation, you will arrive at this relationship. And if you substitute this value using this eliminate this value of Xn0 and Xp0 by using this relationship Nd into Xn0 equal to Na into Xp0, you can get the expression for the contact potential in terms of Nd, Na, and Xn0 here. So Xn0 can be expressed in terms of contact potential and Na-Nd. So individually, you can also calculate the depletion extent of the depletion region in p-type region as well as in the n-type region. And these expressions are given in equation 11a and 11b. I'll send you these notes so that you need not worry. You can also calculate this simple mathematics at home and go through these notes. So the total width of the space charge region, that is the sum of Xn0 and Xp0, that is the space charge region, width of the space charge region. So that can be expressed in terms of contact potential and the doping concentration on both sides of the junction. So this equation is very useful because you may be asked to calculate the depletion region, width of the depletion region or space charge region in a PN junction. Given you will be given the value of V0, Na, and Nd. Even V0 is not required because you can also calculate V0 if you know Na and Nd. Okay, one second. I have a phone call. Okay. So, no, it is not coming. So, can you see this expression for the width of the depletion region in terms of V0 and NA and ND? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
here you must remember one equation, that is important equation given by equation number 12, and all other equations you can simply derive it because here in equation 13 we have replaced V0 in terms of NA and ND. So while calculating this built-in or contact potential, you must remember this equation, this expression for V0. And separately also you can find XP0 and XN0 by knowing the value of W. Even if you do not know the value of W, you can also compute it with the knowledge of V0, NA and ND. So I think only you need to remember equation number 12. Otherwise, you need not remember all these equations. It can be derived simply. So now, if you have any question regarding this transition region, depletion region, contact potential, you can ask me. So one thing I would like to ask you, in my previous talk, have I discussed regarding computation of this built-in potential?
No, sir.
Oh, then I think I'll discuss how to compute this built-in potential, and then I'll proceed further. Okay. But so far I have discussed, I think you can understand. Have you followed what I said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, I have discussed two different mechanisms of current flow in a PN junction and two types of carriers. So 2 into 2 means there are four components of current which can flow across a PN junction. And I explained the diffusion mechanism of current flow as well as drift mechanism of current flow for both types of carriers, that means electrons and holes. So if you have any question regarding this, you can ask me, because I will not discuss this thing anymore. I think I already discussed all these things. Shomadi?
Yes, sir. You have discussed in your last class.
Okay, okay. So now I come to the built-in potential. I think this is diffusion current and deep current in case of junction without any bias, net current is zero, means that total current, sum total of all the four components of current is zero. So built-in potential V0 will be such that the net current flow is zero. So diffusion current is opposed by the built-in electric field, and the potential will be such that the net current flow is zero. And apart from this, another important thing you must note that there is no buildup of either electrons or holes on either side, in one side. So there is no buildup, growing of electrons or holes in either side, or there is no sink. That means no electron and no holes in either side. So under this condition, we must assume that for each type of carrier, drift current must be equal to the diffusion current. So magnitude of drift current must be equal to the magnitude of diffusion current for each type of carriers. On electron drift current component, that will be balanced by the diffusion current of electrons. Similarly, the drift current of holes will be balanced by the diffusion current of holes. So we can write this equation Jp, drift, P for the current density, J for current density, means the current flowing through unit area, that is current density. And the current carried by holes, that is called Jp, drift, plus Jp diffusion is equal to zero. It is the algebraic sum. That is why the total summation is zero. We have to take into account the direction. If we consider positive direction of x-axis, you say it is positive, and negative direction of x-axis means negative. Therefore, this sum given in equation 1 is equal to 0. So here, when we have not applied any bias across the PN junction, net current will be 0, and this 0 will be separately. It is 0 for electrons also, 0 for holes also separately. This means Jp means drift current for holes plus diffusion current of holes is equal to 0. It is the algebraic sum. Similarly, drift current of electrons plus diffusion current of electrons must be equal to 0. So what is this expression? So Jp expression for under equilibrium. Under equilibrium means we have not applied any external bias across the PN junction. So under this condition Jp, the first component is the drift current. Drift current means it is equal to Q mu P. Mu P is the mobility of holes. Px. Px means hole concentration. Ex means electric field minus dp dx. So dp is the diffusion constant for holes. dp dx is the gradient of hole concentration with reference to with respect to distance. So now we can use this Einstein's relationship d by mu equal to kt by q. D is the diffusion constant of some carrier, means say for holes, and mu is the mobility of holes, k is the Boltzmann constant, T is the temperature in degree Kelvin, Q we know it is the elementary charge, means electronic charge. E is the electric field. I have already told you it is the gradient of the potential, negative gradient of the potential. So
স্যার একটা কোশ্চেন করতে পারি? স্যার এখানে বোলসম্যান কনস্ট্যান্টটা কি ইলেকট্রন ভোল্টে ধরা হচ্ছে, মানে ওই ইউনিটটা না
কোনটা?
বোলসম্যান কনস্ট্যান্ট
কেটি হচ্ছে ইলেকট্রন ভোল্ট।
ওকে ওকে স্যার।
কেটি হচ্ছে এনার্জি ইউনিট। আচ্ছা, কিউ বাই কেটি minus q by kt dv dx into dx is equal to dp divided by px. So now you can integrate it between two limits corresponding to the ends of the space charge region. So এখানে দেখো যে vp lower limit potential and the corresponding hole concentration is pp0. And on the n side, on the edge of the depletion region, on the n side, the potential is Vn, and the corresponding hole concentration is Pn0. A proper limited, at a definite integral, proper limit integration করলে পাওয়া যাবে Next, minus Q by KT, Vn minus Vp, ln Pn0 by Pp0. That Vn minus Vp, it is the built-in or contact potential. So you see here, this Vn, can you see in the figure, the second one on the left-hand side? Vn minus Vp, this difference is V0. This is the contact potential. And that is what we have written here. Vn minus Vp, that is equal to V0 minus Q by KT V0 ln Pn0 by Pp0. So V0 can be given by KT by Q ln Pp0 by Pn0. If you know that Pp0 is the whole concentration on the P side, that means it is equal to acceptor concentration. And you know that law of mass action, that P into N equal to Ni square. So just to put it, Pn0 can be evaluated from this relationship Ni square minus Nd. So this is the expression for the contact potential V0. This equation 2b, KT by Q. KT by Q, KT is the unit electron volt, Q is the actually charge coulomb, so it comes in unit of volt. KT by Q means volt. It is also, if we assume T equal to 300 degree Kelvin, it comes around 26 millivolt. So this is ln NaNd by Ni square. So you must remember this equation is very important. Equation number 2b. So here is some alternate form of the same equation. Nn0 into Pn0 I have already discussed. Pp0 into N into P0 is equal to Ni square. Using this equation, you can transform this equation into other quantities for your convenience. But you must remember this equation also, V0 equal to KT by Q ln NaNd by Ni square. This is very important equation and very simple to remember. KT by Q, I already told you, if T equal to 300 degree Kelvin, KT by Q, it comes about 26 millivolt. And then ln NaNd by Ni square. You know the value of Ni for silicon at room temperature, that is 1.5 into 10 to the power 10 cc. So per cc. So it is known, and all will be other quantities will be given. What would be the doping concentration on P side or N side? It will be given in the your problem. So by knowing this doping concentration, you can easily compute the value of contact potential. If you know the value of contact potential, you can also find the depletion width of the depletion region, even on both sides of the P and N junction. So it is very simple and interesting. So you can also express these concentrations, means whole concentration on P side. This is 0 means equilibrium whole concentration, and N0 means equilibrium electron concentration. In terms of these two equations, Pp0 is the Nv. It is the density of states function at the edge of the valence band. Nv e to the power EVp minus EFp divided by KT, and Pn0 is Nv exponential EVn minus EFn divided by KT. So what is EVp, EVn, EFp, EFn? You see this figure. Here you see. So ECP is the conduction bandage on the P side. EVP is the valence bandage at the P side, and EFP means the Fermi level at the P side, FN, EFN means Fermi level at the N side. So that is shown within the band gap to a dotted horizontal line. I'll show what is the position of the Fermi level in the PN junction device. So here on the left hand side, it is e to the power q v0 by kt. Now on the right hand side, it is equal to e to the power fn minus efp, means it is the difference of the Fermi level between n and p side divided by kt. Then into e to the power evp minus evn by kt. You know that the evp minus evn by kt, what is this? It is nothing but q v0 by kt. You see this diagram. Here you see the bottom one, left hand side, bottom one diagram. So difference between ECP and ECN, this energy difference is equal to Q into contact potential. Q into V0. Can you see? You just observe the left hand side figure at the bottom. So difference between ECP, it is ECP minus ECN. This energy difference is the Q times into contact potential. If we consider the potential profile, this difference Vn minus Vp is contact potential. In case of energy, potential, what is the relationship between energy and potential? Only you have to multiply potential by elementary charge, electronic charge, then you will get energy. So this difference is the Q times V0. So here I have written here Q V0 by kt. So here you see that e to the power efn minus efp divided by kt, that is equal to unity. That means e to the power 0. So therefore, efn minus efp must be equal to 0. And it gives you efn equal to efp. That means the position of the Fermi level on the n side must be equal to the position of the Fermi level on the p side. That is, under equilibrium, Fermi level is constant throughout the material. This is a very important conclusion, and you must remember that under equilibrium, that means when we have not applied any bias across the p-n junction, the Fermi level remains constant throughout the structure. We can grow composite structure, means p-n, say 4, 5, 6 layers of different conducting materials. If we do not apply any bias across it, the Fermi level will remain the same throughout the structure. This is a very important conclusion, and you must remember, you never forget this one. Otherwise, you cannot even draw a simple band diagram. So, this under equilibrium Fermi level is constant throughout the material. So, this equation 4 actually the energy bands on either side of the junction are separated by the contact potential V0 times the electronic charge. Here you can actually minutely carefully observe this diagram, this band diagram. The lower one is the band diagram on the right hand side of this vertical dotted line. It is the p side, and on the right hand side it is the n side. So here you see the edge of the conduction band. It is higher on the p side. On the depletion, within the depletion region, it falls parabolically and then again remains constant in the neutral region. And similar variation of the valence band occurs at the bottom, and the within the band gap you will see the horizontal dotted line. It indicates the position of the Fermi level. So is it clear, the band diagram of the p-n junction under equilibrium?
Yes, sir.
So there is a problem. You can work out this problem. An abrupt silicon PN junction has Na equal to 10 to the power 18 per cc on one side, Nd equal to 5 into 10 to the power 15 per cc on the other. Calculate the contact potential for junction at T equal to 300 degree Kelvin. That means at room temperature. You can also work out this problem at different temperatures as well. Instead of considering silicon PN junction diode, you can use this germanium and see how contact potential varies, or you can also compare the value of contact potential in at least 2-3 different semiconducting materials. You can work out this problem for the gallium arsenide also. Okay, so it is the task you work out this problem. Only the problem for silicon is given. You can extend this problem in case of germanium and gallium arsenide as well. And also you can take 3-4 temperatures so that you can get an idea how contact potential actually changes with the change in temperature. So here you see, can you guess what would be the value of Ni for germanium? Is it more than that of silicon or less than that of silicon? Intrinsic carrier concentration at room temperature.
Sir, more than silicon.
Why?
কারণ মানে ওর এটা ডাইইলেকট্রিক মানে কেরিয়ার 2.4 into 10 raised to the power 10 না 15 এরকম কিছু একটা স্যার।
না ডাইইলেকট্রিকের কনস্ট্যান্টের সাথে কোনো নেই, চেঞ্জ নেই। ওর হচ্ছে ব্যান্ড গ্যাপ কম।
আচ্ছা,
ব্যান্ড গ্যাপ হচ্ছে জার্মেনিয়ামের হচ্ছে 0.67 ইলেকট্রন ভোল্ট এই অর্ডার, whereas for silicon it is 1.11 electron volt.
Okay.
So due to reduced value of band gap, the Ni will be more. In case of gallium arsenide, Ni will be less as compared to silicon because band gap of gallium arsenide is high. তো এইগুলো ডেটা বই তো পেয়ে যাবে, স্ট্যান্ডার্ড বই স্ট্রিটম্যানে পেয়ে যাবে, নিম্যানে পেয়ে যাবে। এইগুলো নিয়ে একটুখানি ক্যালকুলেট করে দেবে, তো মানে 5 মিনিট লাগবে জাস্ট ডেটা কালেকশন করে বসানো, বাট ইউ উইল গেট এ ভেরি গুড আইডিয়া regarding variation of contact potential in different semiconductor conducting materials, as well as how it changes or varies with the variation in temperature. তো এগুলো একটু করে দেখবে, এগুলো অনেক বইয়ে গ্রাফিক্যালি দেখানো আছে কিভাবে ভ্যারি করে, কিন্তু তোমরা একটু ক্যালকুলেট না করলে পরেও মনে থাকবে না দেখলে। If you have any question regarding contact potential or related topic, you can ask me, otherwise I will skip it. I think it is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Next topic. Next is the effect of bias. Is the slide visible?
Yes, sir.
So if we consider a PN junction diode and you apply a forward bias, that means P is connected to the positive terminal of the battery with reference to the negative on the inside. So in the forward bias condition, if the bias voltage is higher than the cut-in voltage, there will be flow of current, and if we slightly increase the bias voltage, there will be huge amount of current flowing through the diode. And this IV relationship is actually exponential in nature, and that is, you know that this equation is the Shockley equation or diode equation. You may be knowing this. This diode current ID, that is equal to I0 e to the power Q V by KT minus 1. This is the diode equation or Shockley equation. So here my purpose is if we apply a forward bias, the bias actually appear where within this semiconducting region. So you know we can divide this entire PN junction junction diode into 3 different regions. One is the neutral P region. Next is the depletion region, and then on the right hand side neutral N region. So in neutral, both neutral P and N region, they offer very low resistance because of the plenty of carriers. Means in P side there are plenty of holes available. They are all free charge carriers, and they will increase actually conductivity of the materials there. Similarly, on the neutral N region, there will be plenty of electrons, and they are free charge carriers, and they will actually increase the conductivity of the material. Therefore, resistance is very, very low. So actually, these resistances are represented by Rp and Rn to represent the neutral resistance corresponding to neutral P region and N region respectively. And in between there is a depletion region, and it offers actually very high resistance compared to both Rp and Rn. And in most of the semiconductor, we assume that the length is comparable to the cross-sectional area, and that's why you know that resistance equal to rho L by A. And we consider moderately doped semiconductor. Therefore, this both Rn and Rp is much less than the depletion resistance in the depletion region, means Rd. So if we actually draw the electrical equivalent circuit for this PN junction diode under forward bias, you can represent it by this circuit diagram just underneath this PN junction schematic diagram. So this positive terminal is connected to the Rp, Rd, and Rn. All are connected in series with the battery. As you know that Rp and Rn is much less as compared to Rd. So you can assume that entire bias will appear across Rd. That means across the depletion region. So whatever bias you are employing to the device, entire bias, almost entire portion will appear across the depletion region. So therefore, you see there is a variation in potential across the depletion region or transition region, and there is no bending in potential or variation in potential in the neutral region. So this is the reason. This is the reason you must understand physically, so that you will never forget it, and you can easily draw the band diagram at without even thinking it. Just you see and you can draw it. So have you got this physical meaning? How bias is applied and where it appears in a PN junction diode? So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
সবার ক্লিয়ার নাকি এক দুজনের?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
ক্লিয়ার তো? তাহলে আমি নেক্সট পয়েন্টগুলোতে যাই। আবার যাচ্ছে। আচ্ছা, এবার ধরো if we apply an external bias to the PN junction diode, what happens? It changes the electrostatic potential barrier, and therefore the electric field within the depletion region, and hence you can expect that there will be changes in various components of current that flow through the junction. So when an external bias is applied to the PN junction, it causes change in the electrostatic potential barrier, and therefore there will be change in the electric field in the depletion region, and we can expect that there will be changes in various components of current that flow across the junction. So you must keep in your mind such changes, and I will show how to draw the band diagram of a PN junction diode under three different conditions, bias conditions. First is the equilibrium condition. That means we have not yet applied any bias across the junction. Then we have to apply this forward bias condition. That means positive terminal of the battery is connected to the P side with reference to the N side. N side is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. And in case of reverse bias, negative terminal of the battery is connected to P side, and positive terminal is connected to the N side. So equilibrium, under equilibrium condition, you know the potential profile. On the P side, potential is lower and it is denoted by Vp, and on the N side, it is Vn, and within the depletion region, it actually ramps up from this Vp to Vn, but you see it is somewhat parabolic with reference to distance, and you can visualize it at the edge of the depletion region. Otherwise, it appears to be a linear, but at the edge of the depletion region, you will find slight bending. This bending, actually, it is parabolic. Otherwise, in the middle, you cannot distinguish. It appears to be a linear, but it is not so. And if we multiply this potential profile into -q, then it will be inverted. And not only inverted, but also you will find two traces. One is for conduction bandage, another is valence bandage, and they are separated by the band gap of the material. And one important thing you must remember, that as we have not applied any bias across the PN junction, this Fermi level is constant throughout the structure. So on the left hand, leftmost figure, you will see EFP and EFN. It is actually a horizontal dotted line. That means Fermi level is constant throughout the structure, entire structure. And the difference between ECP and ECN, it is equal to Q times V0. So is it clear to all of you? This equilibrium band diagram under equilibrium condition? Surajit?
Yes, sir.
Then Suprabha Das.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here you see the corresponding particle flow and current flow underneath this band diagram. First is the hole diffusion. Hole diffusion means holes will travel from P side to N side due to the gradient of holes at the junction. So particle flow will be from left to right, and the corresponding current flow will be in the same direction, because holes carry positive charges. So hole diffusion, it will be in the opposite direction because the holes are minority carrier in inside material. So due to the presence of electric field, it actually drifts. Holes are drifted from N side to P side, and it comes through from the valence band of N side and come easily to P side. As the concentration of holes is very small, they carry a little amount of current, and it is shown by this continuous line showing from right hand side to left hand side. This constitutes the whole drift current. Drift means it is the under the influence of a motion of particles, charged particle under the influence of an electric field. The similar thing happens for electrons. Electron diffusion means it happens from N side to P side, and the corresponding current will be in the opposite direction because electrons carry negative charges. And the electron drift current will be from P side to N side, means motion of electrons. Electron drift from P side to N side, and corresponding current will be in the opposite direction. Yeah, electron flow and corresponding current flow is shown by dotted lines, and they are opposite. They are in opposite direction because electrons carry negative charges. So I think it is clear. All the four components of current which flow across the PN junction. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Anyone? Anushree, is it clear?
স্যার একবার হোল ড্রিফটটা বললে ভালো হয়।
আচ্ছা, হোল ড্রিফটটা দেখো, এই যে এন সাইড এন টাইপ মেটেরিয়ালের মাইনরিটি ক্যারিয়ার হোলস, সেটা হচ্ছে তোমার এই যে ভ্যালেন্স ব্যান্ডে হোল থাকে। এখন ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ডটা কোন দিকে? এন সাইড থেকে পি সাইডের দিকে, যে দেখানো আছে দেখো উপরের ফিগারে। ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ডের ডাইরেকশন হচ্ছে রাইট হ্যান্ড সাইড থেকে লেফট হ্যান্ড সাইডে, আর হোল মাইনরিটি ক্যারিয়ার কোথায় আছে? এন সাইডে। তাহলে এই হোলগুলো মানে ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ডের জন্য এন সাইড থেকে পি সাইডে চলে যাচ্ছে। যেহেতু হোলের কনসেন্ট্রেশন মাইনরিটি ক্যারিয়ার কনসেন্ট্রেশন, মানে অল আর থার্মালি জেনারেটেড ক্যারিয়ার্স, সেই জন্য কন্ট্রিবিউশনটা ভেরি স্মল হবে। এই ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ডের জন্য মুভমেন্ট অফ হোলস ফ্রম এন সাইড টু পি সাইড, ইট ইজ কল্ড হোল ড্রিফট। ইজ ইট ক্লিয়ার?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Bobita, clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, anyone can explain when we have applied forward bias? মানে সেকেন্ড ফিগারটা কেউ এক্সপ্লেন করো। ডি চক্রবর্তী, ট্রাই করো।
স্যার মানে ফরওয়ার্ড বায়াস মানে বি যেটা লেখা আছে ওইটা তো?
হ্যাঁ, এটা
ফরওয়ার্ড বায়াস মানে হচ্ছে পজিটিভ সাইড অফ ব্যাটারি পি সাইডে, নেগেটিভ সাইড অফ ব্যাটারি এন সাইডে। তা এটার ক্ষেত্রে কি হয়, যেহেতু ফরওয়ার্ড বায়াস অ্যাপ্লাই করা হচ্ছে সেহেতু ডিপ্লিশন রিজিয়নের উইথ কমবে, বিকজ যদি এক্সপ্রেশনটা দেখি তাহলে উইথের ওখানে পোটেনশিয়ালটা বেশি হলে লেন্থটা ছোট হবে।
আর পি সাইডে যেহেতু পজিটিভ পোটেনশিয়াল দিয়েছে, সেই জন্য পি সাইডের পোটেনশিয়ালটাকে উপরে নিয়ে যাবে। তাহলে বেরিয়ার হাইটটা কি হবে? ভি0 মাইনাস ভিএফ হয়ে গেল, কমে গেল, তাই তো?
রিলেটিভলি মানে বাঁ দিকটা উপরে চলে যাবে আর কি।
হ্যাঁ, তো তাহলে কমে গেল পোটেনশিয়াল বেরিয়ারের হাইট, ভি0 মাইনাস ভিএফ হয়ে গেল। আগে ছিল কত? ভি0 ছিল, এখন হয়ে গেল কি? ভি0 মাইনাস ভিএফ।
মাইনাস ভিএফ মানে যদি এনার্জি টার্মসে
কমে গেল। তো কমে গেলে কি হবে এবার বলো?
কমে গেলে ইলেকট্রনের সুবিধা হবে একদিক থেকে আরেক দিকে যাওয়ার জন্য, কারণ মানে
এর সুবিধা হবে না, হোলের সুবিধা হবে না?
কি কম লাগবে।
এখানে দেখো নেক্সট নিচের ফিগারে দেখো এই বেরিয়ার হাইট হয়ে গেছে কত ব্যান্ড ডায়াগ্রামে কিউ ইন্টু ভি জিরো মাইনাস ভিএফ, বেরিয়ার হাইট কমে গেছে। এই দুটোই ডিফিউশন কারেন্টকে এইড করবে, মানে ইলেকট্রন ডিফিউশন কারেন্ট অ্যাজ ওয়েল অ্যাজ হোল ডিফিউশন কারেন্ট। বেরিয়ার হাইট সবার কমেছে, ইলেকট্রনের ক্ষেত্রেও কমেছে, হোলের ক্ষেত্রেও কমে গেছে। তাহলে বেরিয়ার হাইট যত কমবে তত বেশি ডিফিউশন হবে, কারণ এই যে বেরিয়ার হাইটটাই ডিফিউশন কারেন্টকে বাধা দেয়। তার মানে some carriers which can surmount this barrier height, they can only come from this one side, means for holes from p side to n side, and for electrons from n side to p side. Diffusion current for holes কিভাবে হয় না, the holes which have enough energy to surmount this barrier height can come easily from p side to n side. And for electrons, the electrons which have enough energy to surmount this barrier height q into v0 minus vf can come to the p side. তাহলে এখানে বেরিয়ার হাইট কমেছে মানে হিউজ অ্যামাউন্ট অফ হোলস অ্যান্ড ইলেকট্রনস উইল কাম টু দ্য রেসপেক্টিভ সাইড বাই ডিফিউশন। ডিফিউশন কারেন্ট অনেক বেড়ে গেল দুটোর ক্ষেত্রেই, যে কোনো একটার না, দুটোরই বাড়লো। এই জন্য দেখো এখানে দেওয়া আছে একটা লেন্থ বেশি এই পার্টিকেল ফ্লো, হোল ডিফিউশনের একটা মানে লম্বা লাইন দেওয়া আছে, লার্জ লেন্থের লাইন, and corresponding current will be also high. For electrons also, ইলেকট্রনের হচ্ছে ডটেড লাইনের লেন্থ বেশি দেওয়া আছে পার্টিকেল ফ্লো মানে ইলেকট্রন ফ্লো, করসপন্ডিং কারেন্ট টু অনেকটা হাই। হোয়ারাস এই যে ড্রিফট কারেন্ট গুলো একই আছে, তার কারণ কি থার্মালি জেনারেটেড ক্যারিয়ার্স ও তার ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ড ওইভাবে নিয়ে আসছে, যারা আছে সবই তোমার পাঠিয়ে দিচ্ছে, বাট দেয়ার concentration is very very low, therefore the corresponding current is also very very low. তার মানে ফরওয়ার্ড বায়াস কারেন্টে এই যে ফরওয়ার্ড বায়াস ভোল্টেজের সাথে এক্সপোনেনশিয়াল রাইজ ইন ডায়োড কারেন্ট, এটা হয় কার জন্য, ডিফিউশন কারেন্টের জন্য, ডিফিউশন অফ বোথ ইলেকট্রনস এন্ড হোলস। ক্লিয়ার?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
তোমার মাইকটা একটু মিউট করো, শব্দ হচ্ছে। ইন্দ্রজিৎ ক্লিয়ার?
ইয়েস স্যার, ক্লিয়ার।
সৌভিক কথা কিছু বলো না তুমি, সৌভিক কি সাহা?
Yes, sir.
ক্লিয়ার?
Yes, sir. Clear.
মানে আইডিয়া ক্লিয়ার না মাথার থেকে ক্লিয়ার হয়ে গেল, কোনটা?
Idea clear, sir.
তাহলে পরেরটা বলো তো তুমি, রিভার্স বায়াস কন্ডিশন।
স্যার রিভার্স বায়াস কন্ডিশনে যেহেতু রিভার্স বায়াস করছে, নেগেটিভ পোটেনশিয়াল পড়ছে পজিটিভ দিকে, তো বেরিয়ার উইথ তো অনেক বেড়ে যাবে। এবার বেরিয়ার উইথটা বেড়ে যাবে,
বেরিয়ার উইথ তো বাড়বে, হাইটও বাড়বে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, বেরিয়ার হাইটটা বাড়বে, তো ক্যারিয়ারের ফ্লো করতে প্রবলেম হবে, সেই জন্য
কোন ক্যারিয়ারের কোন মেকানিজমে বলো, ওরকম বললে হবে না, পরিষ্কার করে বলো কার অসুবিধা হবে এবং কোন মেকানিজমে ফ্লো করতে অসুবিধা হবে।
স্যার ওই ক্যারিয়ার হাইটটা বেড়ে যাওয়ার জন্য
বেরিয়ার হাইট বাড়লে পরে কোন মেকানিজমের অসুবিধা হয়, ডিপ না ডিফিউশনের? ডিফিউশনের। তো এইটা বলো, আমি ওইটাই জানতে চাইছি।
ডিফিউশনের প্রবলেম
হবে ইলেকট্রনের না হলে না দুটোরই?
দুটোরই হবে স্যার,
দুটোরই অসুবিধা হবে। তাহলে ইলেকট্রনের ডিফিউশনও অসুবিধা হবে, আবার হোলেরও ডিফিউশনের অসুবিধা হবে। দুটোরই এত বেরিয়ার হাইট ওভারকাম করার জন্য অত কাইনেটিক এনার্জি যার আছে সেই পারবে আসতে, তাছাড়া পারবে না। যদি বেশি হয়ে যায় তাহলে খুব কম সংখ্যক, ভেরি স্মল number of holes and electrons come to the respective side by diffusion. কিন্তু ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ড বেড়ে গেল, ইলেকট্রিক ফিল্ড বেড়ে যাওয়া মানে ড্রিফট এডেড হবে, কিন্তু আমার কেরিয়ার কনসেন্ট্রেশনই নেই, ও সবগুলো আসলেই বা কি আর না আসলেই বা। বুঝতে পেরেছো, এমনিতেই চলে যাচ্ছে। যেহেতু মাইনরিটি ক্যারিয়ার, ওর কেরিয়ার কনসেন্ট্রেশন খুব কম, সেই জন্য ডিপ কারেন্ট আর চেঞ্জ হবে না, সবাই চলে আসবে, তাও ওই বেশি কারেন্ট তৈরি করতে পারবে না।
Yes,
সেই
sir.
কারণেই আন্ডার রিভার্স বায়াস কন্ডিশন ইউ উইল অবজার্ভ অনলি রিভার্স স্যাচুরেশন কারেন্ট, a very small amount of current, and it is also called thermally generated current or leakage current, sometimes it is called. And drift current is very very low due to the huge amount of this barrier height. Barrier height তোমার হয়ে গেছে q times v0 plus vr, মানে এটা কন্টাক্ট পোটেনশিয়াল থেকে যা ছিল তার থেকে অনেক বাড়িয়ে দিয়েছে, সেই কারণে ডিফিউশনটা সাফার করে গেছে, একদমই ডিফিউশন কারেন্ট যেতে পারছে না। আর ড্রিফট কারেন্ট তো থার্মালি জেনারেটেড ক্যারিয়ার, ভেরি স্মল অ্যাকচুয়ালি ক্যারিয়ার কনসেন্ট্রেশন, এদের মাইনরিটি ক্যারিয়ার কনসেন্ট্রেশন, সেই জন্য কারেন্টটা ভেরি স্মল। ইফ ইউ সাম আপ ইউ উইল গেট দ্য only the leakage current, means reverse saturation current will flow. তাহলে তিনটে বায়াস কন্ডিশনে আমি এক্সপ্লেন করলাম। আই থিঙ্ক ইট ইজ ক্লিয়ার। ইফ somebody has any problem you can ask me. But if there is no problem, এখানে তাহলে এই ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথাগুলো একটুখানি আমি বলে দিচ্ছি যে অ্যাপ্লিকেশন অফ এ ফরওয়ার্ড বাস টু এ পিএন জাংশন ডায়োড raises the electrostatic potential on the p side related to n side, and ultimately the barrier height becomes v0 minus vf. That means changes occurs from the contact potential value, and in case of reverse bias you know that the barrier height will be v0 plus vr, so it increases the barrier height from the contact potential, and it will due to this the diffusion component of current will drastically reduce. Now I come to another important point. You know that there is a dependency of the depletion width on the bias condition. So W can be given by twice epsilon into V0 minus plus V divided by Q into Na plus Nd by Na into Nd whole to the power half. এখানে দেখো মাইনাসটা কার ক্ষেত্রে, when it is the junction is forward bias. V0 এর সাথে মাইনাস ভি কখন দেবো, ভি ইজ দ্য বায়াস ভোল্টেজ, যখন ফরওয়ার্ড বায়াস তখন মাইনাস নেব, যখন রিভার্স বায়াস তখন প্লাস নেব। ঠিক আছে, ক্লিয়ার? এই V0 মাইনাস প্লাস ভি মানে বেরিয়ার হাইট। বেরিয়ার হাইটটা কম কখন হবে, যখন মাইনাস, সেটা কখন হয়, যখন ফরওয়ার্ড বায়াসড হয়। আর বেরিয়ার হাইটটা বেড়ে যায় কখন, যখন রিভার্স বায়াসড হয়। আচ্ছা, চার্জ stored on each side of the PN junction, that is equal to Q, equal to capital Q mod Q lower case q a into xn0 into nd, q a xp0 into na, এখানে দেখো xn0 by xp0 that is equal to na by nd। এখান থেকে একটা সিম্পল রিলেশনশিপ হাউ টু কম্পিউট xp0। xp0 মানে p সাইডে ডেপ্লিশন রিজিয়নের এক্সটেনশন, আর xn0 মানে it is the extension of the depletion region on the n side from the metallurgical junction, and that can be given by this equation. So charge on each side of the PN junction, that is Q, equal to QA NA ND divided by NA plus ND into W. If you put the value of W in terms of barrier height, you can get this type of relationship. Now I want to make comparison between parallel plate capacitor and the junction capacitor. এদের মধ্যে similarities আছে, dissimilarities আছে। You know that the amount of positive charge must be equal to amount of negative charge. It holds good for both type of capacitors. Parallel plate capacitor এর ক্ষেত্রেও এটা আছে, PN junction যে depletion region form করেছে তার জন্য একটা ক্যাপাসিট্যান্স তৈরি হয়েছে, তার ক্ষেত্রেও একই জিনিস, যে amount of positive charge must be equal to amount of negative charge. আচ্ছা, এবার কি Q মানে একটা সাইডের কিউ ডেপ্লিশন রিজিয়নের কিউ মানে জাংশন ক্যাপাসিট্যান্সের ক্ষেত্রে ডিপেন্ডস অন বায়াস, তেমনি তোমরা জানো প্যারালাল প্লেট ক্যাপাসিট্যান্সের ক্ষেত্রে কিউ ইকুয়াল টু সিভি, the Q depends on bias and it depends linearly on bias. In case of parallel plate capacitor, you know that the charge on the plate, that is Q, is equal to capacitance into voltage across the plates. But in case of junction, PN junction capacitance, এখানে দেখো এক্সপ্রেশনটা Q does not, it depends on V but not linear in nature. এখানে আছে ওই V0 minus plus V whole to the power half, মানে স্কোয়ার রুটের সাথে আছে। এটা এক একটা জাংশনের ক্ষেত্রে এক এক রকম হয়, এটা সবসময় যে স্কোয়ার রুট হবে তা নয়, অন্য ফর্মও নিতে পারে, বাট নট লিনিয়ার। In general, it is difference between the parallel plate capacitor and junction capacitor. So now we can also calculate the junction capacitance. Capacitance, you know that C equal to dq dV. So what is V in case of this PN junction? The voltage that varies Q charge is the barrier height, V0 minus plus V. We must take the derivative with respect to this voltage. That means junction capacitance, which is represented by Cj, that is dq d of V0 minus plus V. And if you take this derivative, what I have shown here, this expression, take derivative with reference to V0 minus plus V, then you can arrive at this relationship. So the junction capacitance Cj can be given by epsilon A Q divided by twice epsilon into V0 minus plus V into Na Nd divided by Na plus Nd whole to the power half. So it comes around epsilon A by W. Now we consider an asymmetric junction P plus N diode. P plus N means on the P side it is heavily doped with acceptors. So as you know that the extent of the depletion region on the P side would be very, very less as compared to that on N side, because as doping concentration increases, the depletion width of the depletion region on that side decreases. It has got some inverse relationship. So if you manipulate or some algebraic manipulation, you can get 1 upon Cj square. This is the 1 upon the junction capacitance square, that is equal to alpha Nd into V0 minus plus V. So this 1 upon Cj square and V applied voltage, V is the applied voltage, it actually bears this linear relationship. So here is the linear relation, and it is plotted C1 upon Cj square with versus V. So if we plot 1 upon Cj square with respect to the applied potential V, you get a straight line, and you get an intercept and as well as its slope. From this slope and intercept, you can find the doping concentration on the lowly doped area or lightly doped region, that means N type. So it is a very clever technique of finding the doping concentration in a PN junction by just measuring the junction capacitance and plotting 1 upon Cj square with respect to the applied potential. So you can also find the value of this contact potential as well as the doping concentration in the lightly doped region. So because intercept and slope, you are getting two quantities from this graph. So you can evaluate also two quantities. One is V0, means contact potential, and Nd. Nd is the donor concentration in the N region. So it is a very simple technique, but it is very useful for finding and for determining two important parameters pertaining to PN junction. So if you have any question, you can ask me. তাহলে তোমাদের যে কে হয়েছে সিআর রেডিও ফিক্সের?
আমি স্যার
তোমার নাম কি?
দেবানুরাগ চক্রবর্তী।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, দেবান।
দেবানুরাগ চক্রবর্তী।
আচ্ছা, তুমি তাহলে অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা আমাকে পাঠিয়ে দিও ইমেলে। আর ভিএলএসআই কে আজকেরটা পাঠিয়ে দিও। আর ভিএলএসআই কে সিআর?
Sir, I am the class representative.
So you can send me the attendance of VLSI students to my email.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay. So next Thursday night means from 7 to 9 I'll take another class.
স্যার এক্সকিউজ মি স্যার, আপনি এই টাইমেই ক্লাস নেবেন তো তাহলে থার্সডে?
হ্যাঁ, আপাতত এই নিই, তারপরে চেঞ্জ হলে আই উইল লেট ইউ নো।
ওকে স্যার, ঠিক আছে।
Okay.